Come on, Ref. I'm your host, Ben Parsons, and this week we have some interesting topics for you guys. We're going to talk about the Browns, do a little season overview of what's going on with them, talk about what happened with the Guardians last night, and got a new topic for you guys that you guys will have to wait and see. But this week, right now, we want to talk about, can the Browns turn their season around? They're currently at 2-4. Next week, we play the Ravens at the Ravens. Ravens are division leaders right now. As we all know, they're a tough team. They've had a lot of close losses, just like we have. I mean, the Browns are one play away from being undefeated, and we're one play away from not having to win. So, unfortunately, the way things have fell for us right now, we're 2-4. So all we can do now is try and turn things around. But the question is that a lot of people is wondering is, can the Browns turn around? After last week's loss, that was a tough loss to the Patriots. The Browns, they didn't look good last week. I mean, I'd say that's the worst they looked all season. The offense looked sloppy. The defense looked sloppy. Jacoby played his worst game of the season, and things overall just didn't look good. So the question is, can they turn it around? I mean, of course, I'm going to believe that they can turn around. I mean, I don't see any reason why we can't. Like, we've got the talent there. We've got the players on defense. We got the players on offense. We've got the best running back in the league. We got a good offensive line. Jacoby's proved that he can be a decent quarterback. Obviously, like we've said in past episodes, he's not your true starter. He's not one of the top quarterbacks in the league, but he is a decent quarterback who should be able to manage a game. And last week, I'd say, is the first game where we missed seeing Deshaun Watson out there. He looked like a true backup quarterback last week. And that if we want to win these games and get caught back up for Deshaun Watson, Jacoby can't play like that. And he's going to need to step it up. Everyone on that team needs to step it up, even including coaches. I mean, the question is, can you blame this bad start on the coaches or the players? I mean, I would say it's a little bit of both. Each week, I think it's been someone different. I'd say last week was overall all of them. I mean, the coaches looked bad. The team looked bad. The coaches got outcoached. The players got outplayed. I mean, just our offense last week, it didn't look good at all. At all. The defense was just, once again, giving up play after play. The coaches looked like their game plan wasn't working. Nothing was working. I mean, of course, you're going against one of the top coaches of all time, Bill Belichick, and that's going to happen when you play a team like that. But in the future, we need to be better. And I think overall this season, it's been you can blame this on both of them, coaches and players. I mean, they got a game plan better. Joe Woods has to step it up on his defensive planning, and the players need to step it up. Every week you're having blown coverages. Last week you've seen even more blown coverages, and that isn't necessarily on the coaches. That's more on the players. But if you want to turn the season around, everyone needs to step it up, and the coaches, they need to have a meeting. Something needs to happen. I mean, the players, they had their players meeting already a few weeks ago, and we thought things looked good. They won that next week against the Steelers, but I don't know what happened. Injuries got to us. Everyone just started falling apart, and things didn't look the best. But we got the new linebacker still coming in this week, Deion Jones, who's looking like he's going to get his first game with us this week. So we're going to hope that he can make an impact and really help turn things around for us. I mean, hopefully Clowney comes back this week. He's been a big loss for us. Having him out has really hurt us. Not having him and Myles Garrett on the line at the same time is causing a lot of problems. And we've seen all season, you need both of them out there if you want that defense to step up. I mean, the run defense has struggled all season long. Deion Jones is a good run stopper, so I'm going to hope that he can be the answer to some of these problems. Hopefully, having him like that, him in there, he can be an impactful player and help change things around and just help turn his defense around and help motivate them to step things up. And we got a big game this week. I mean, the Ravens, their divisional opponent, they're one game above us. They're at, I believe, 3-3. So this is your chance to get things evened up. This is your chance to tie that win it at the top of the division. And ultimately, I mean, whether or not the rest of the league's record doesn't really matter at this point anymore. I mean, only records that matter is the teams in your division. And so if you can stay around those teams in your division with your records, then you got a shot at making the playoffs still, no matter what other teams' records are. It really only matters what your division's record is. And luckily for the Browns, everyone in our division is having a rough start. And so we're not too far behind them. I think both the Bengals and Ravens are 3-3, so we're right there with them, and we play both of them coming up. So if we can get wins against them, we can possibly jump to the top of the division, and hopefully that will give us the motivation we need to start playing better and turn things around. Because right now, we've had one consistent player every week, and his name is Nick Chubb. Besides that, we have no one. Everyone, week in and week out, has been inconsistent and struggling, and it's caused a lot of problems. So hopefully, I mean, the Browns, they got me at a loss for words at this point in the season. I don't know who to blame this on. I don't know what's going on. Every week it's a new problem, and they have to turn this around. If things don't get turned around soon, I think you could possibly see a coaching change. I want to say I don't think Kevin Stefanski's job is on the line, but I would say Joe Wood's job is possibly on the line, which it doesn't make any sense because last year we had a good defense but a bad offense. This year, our our offense is playing pretty decent. At least they're putting us in position to win games, but the defense is losing us the games. But we have the same defensive coordinator, so things just aren't making sense at all. I truly am at a loss for words about this season. I really don't know how. I don't know what they can do, but hey, if they can talk, they can get things figured out. They can turn this around. This is possible to still turn this around. The season is not over yet. I'm not giving up hope, but we're running out of time, and those losses are adding up quickly, and it's not looking good right now. We play a lot of tough teams coming up, and if we've lost to these bad teams, our schedule is getting a lot harder from here on out. So if they want to shout out the playoffs, now is the time they have to turn things on and play their best football they have yet. Because right now, it's not looking good. But I think they could turn it around, and hopefully we can have a good rest of the season. Now, I want to switch to another topic. I'd say let's talk about the Guardians. The Guardians, they lost last night. Unfortunately, they ended their season. They had a pretty good season, though. No, that's kind of what a lot of people predicted. No one predicted them to win the World Series, but no one also predicted us to even make the playoffs. But for the youngest team in baseball to go to a Game 5 with a team like the Yankees, I'd say is a pretty good season. You can't really be too upset about that. I mean, they look good all series until it came to this Game 5. This Game 5 truly was our collapse. It was our worst game of the series. It was our worst game in the playoffs. Pitching struggled heavy. I still believe that Terry Francona should have started Shane Bieber. I don't understand why you want to start your best pitcher when it comes time to Game 5, a do or die game, and your season's on the line. I get he was only on 3 days of rest, and they like them to have normally about 4. But I don't really understand why you wouldn't start your best pitcher when it comes to that type of moment. But I wouldn't plan. I don't understand the planning for next series so he could start there when you didn't even know if you were going to make it out this series. Like, I mean, if the pitcher said himself, if Shane Bieber says, yes, I'm good, I can go, let me pitch, I'd say you let him have that ball and you be cautious with it. If he's struggling, then you pull him out of there early. I mean, I don't really understand why you didn't start him. It's not making much sense to me, but we lost, so it's done and over with now. Unfortunately, the pitcher they did start gave up a 3-run home run in the very first inning, and I think he hit someone. He walked like 2 people, and it just overall it did not look good at all. It was a rough game from that very first inning, and ultimately I think it came down to the pitching. I mean, I think not starting Shane Bieber is what ultimately lost us that game. I guess we'll never know, but I would have rather us start Shane Bieber and lose that way than having the question after the game, if we started Shane Bieber, would we have won that game? It's not. I mean, the Yankees pitcher, they started him on 3 days of rest, and look what he did to us. We scored 1 run all game. We lost 5-1, and that's our season right there. That's how things end for us. It's unfortunate, it really is, but I think we have a bright future. We had the youngest team in baseball this year, and I think we have a very bright future. And I think next season will be even better, and we'll be right back in the playoffs. Hopefully, I think the one thing they can do, though, they could go out and get some hitters. I mean, well, not just hitters, I'd say power hitters, because we can hit. Our team can hit really well, but we don't really have many power hitters. I mean, besides maybe Jose Ramirez and Josh Naylor, those are like your only true power hitters, and they're not even necessarily just power hitters. Like they're power hitters, but they're more of they can get on base. So we need to go out there. I think the thing we need to improve on this offseason is get some power hitters. Get someone who can go hit you a home run when you need it. Because as we saw last night, the home run can be a do or die for you. And unfortunately, the Yankees, they hit more home runs than us all season long even. I think they hit double the amount of home runs we did all year. And you see right there, that can kill you. So I think we definitely need to go out there and get some power hitters. I mean, I think that can be the game changer for us. That can take us to that World Series title. Because we're there. We have a great team. We really do. Only thing missing is that power hitting. So hopefully they can get that solved in the offseason and we come back better than ever next year. Now, the team who is starting tonight, who's looking good and promising, is the Cleveland Cavaliers. They are looking good this week. They got their first game tonight at the Raptors. And we should have, I believe we're having our full lineup. We're having everyone play for us, a full healthy lineup to start the season. And I'm excited. I think the Cavs are going to be one of the best teams in the NBA this year. Last episode, we gave our record predictions and our season expectations. So I won't go too much more into that. If you want to see how you can look at last episode. But the Cavs do have their first game tonight. And with a fully healthy lineup, including Donovan Mitchell, I think is a recipe for success. And I think we pick up the win tonight. I'm excited to see what they can do tonight. I've never seen their full lineup play together yet, but I'm excited. And I think it's going to be a good game. The Raptors are a tough team. They made the playoffs last year. And, I mean, they've made the playoffs, I don't know for sure exactly how many years in a row, but they've been a tough team for many years right now. So this isn't no blowover game for sure, but I think with the team we got, we can pull out the win tonight. But the one question that everyone's wondering is Evan Mobley going to be a superstar type player this year? And I think he is. I think Evan Mobley is going to be one of the top players in the league this year. I think he's transformed his offensive game in this offseason. And I think that he can indeed be one of the top players and help take the Cavs on a little run. Him, Garland, and Mitchell are your recipe for success, and I think those three are going to play well together. But speaking of young stars, one question I have for you guys is, should players out of high school be able to get drafted, or should they have to go to college? As we know right now, the rule is you have to go to college, or in the NBA they have where you can like go to the Ignite team, stuff like that. But the question is, should they be able to get drafted? And I believe they should. I think it's ultimately your decision, and you're playing for your career. And yeah, like it's possible it could backfire. I mean, we've seen Hall of Famers, LeBron James, Kevin Garnett, and Kobe Bryant, people who are some of the greatest of all time. LeBron, in my opinion, is the greatest of all time, and he's still playing today. So we see guys like that who can have long, great careers coming straight out of high school, or you got busts. Like, I mean, no one's ever heard of players like Leon Smith, Darius Miles, or Jonathan Bender. Those guys came straight out of high school and became no name. So yes, it is definitely a hit or miss, but ultimately, I think it should be their decision because you rather them realize now, oh, their NBA career is not going to work, so let me go back to college and let me try and fix things and let me go get a degree and take a different path in life. But I think they should have that decision because if you get with the right trainers and you start learning from young and you get in that environment young, it could ultimately help their career and turn out to be a game changer for them. So I think that should definitely be their decision. I mean, when it comes to like the NFL and stuff, I mean, that's kind of different. Like, you probably wouldn't really see many people going straight to NFL out of high school. I mean, that's a big difference compared to going to the NBA out of high school and the NFL out of high school is a big difference. But I do think it could be good to see like the high school players getting like trained by NFL people and getting that experience. I think that could help their careers in the long run. But you probably want to see many playing. I mean, you probably want to see many playing in the NBA. But ultimately, I think just getting that experience and being able to fully focus on that, on what their goal is, and not have to worry about school and everything, and being able to just put school on a pause and all that. Like school, it can always be there. It's always going to be there. When it comes to your professional career, you're on a time limit. You can only play up to a certain age, and you're only so good for so long. So that's not there for everybody. Like you can always go back to school. You can always go get your degree, and you can always take a different path. But when it comes to professional sports, you're on a time limit there. So I think they ultimately should have that decision and it should be theirs. And I think learning from some of the best and being around the environment and getting that coaching and getting on that schedule and everything could really help a lot of players in the long run. And so ultimately, yes, I do believe it should be their decision. So we have a pretty interesting week in sports. We got the Browns coming up, Cavs opening night, and we'll have to see. We'll have to see what this season holds for the Cavs and the Browns. It's going to be an interesting year for both teams, but an exciting one. Ultimately, we're going to see can the Browns turn it off, and we're going to see if the Cavs can have their best season they've had since the Browns left. So that'll do it for this episode. We'll see you guys next week, same day, Wednesday, and ultimately, it's going to be a good year. It's going to be a good year. So that'll do it for this episode, and we will see you guys next week on Come On Ref. Thank you guys for tuning in, and that's all.